you smoke, why do you have children? But people don't like to talk about that because it offends them. We can't say that. No, I can.
But it's not that black and white with any of that, is it? Because you're dealing with human beings. That there's got to be wiggle room to say, look, humans are not perfect. We're flawed.
They've got no purpose. They don't know what they're doing.
Aaron Knightley,
an entrepreneur, author, and host of the Breakout podcast,
who's on a mission to help people escape the 9 to 5.
This is another one that rattles people's cage. I always say, don't travel after university or college. If you want to go travelling, do what I do. I'm at 32 now. I go where I want, when I want.
But what if someone says they might not make it to 32?
Well, it's rubbish.
But it is true, though.
I would say to that individual, you're a moron. You're living in cuckoo land.
But that's not what they mean, though, is it?
You're playing a scenario that's so... How could you even make your life?
So when you say the cost of living crisis isn't real.
So the cost of living crisis is a great title developed by the media. I find it hard when people say it's so tough and gas and electric's gone up. Well, go over your finances for the last 6 months.
What do you think of people like the Andrew Tonks?
Well, I think all that's too much. I like to just use the word trying to wake people up. I say to people, I did over 900 posts before I blew up. I'm not getting any views, and I've done like 40 posts.
1,000 posts before you even start to see some momentum. For a lot of people, they'll be thinking, that's a huge commitment.
You're not going to die if you sleep 4 hours a night for 3 years. I did it for many years in my 20s.
I think experts would disagree.
But they, yeah.
Well, you can't guarantee that, right? Because brain experts, people will say literally one of the worst things you can do.
That rattles my cage. But I don't give a monkeys. I don't give a monkeys.
Are you actually happy? Aaron, welcome back to the show.
Mate, thanks for having me here.
It's good. I'm genuinely looking forward to this conversation because I know you're the sort of person that does not hold back. You tell it like it is. But I think that's important. And I think we can start there with regards to having the courage to genuinely say what you think, especially when we talk about cancel culture. Where does that come from? Because I know it's something a lot of people want to have that confidence, they want to have that courage, but they really struggle with it.
Well, they worry about what people will think because of judgment and people pointing the finger. And for me, I've just never worried because what's someone going to do? I'm not racist. I'm not being horrible. So I'm not going beyond that line where I'm really aiming my content at a certain someone and being nasty about it. And for anyone else, as long as you're not doing that, you don't really have anything to worry about. So I think it just very simply, everyone's worried about what everyone thinks, which is the biggest holdback. And I just have never been worried about what anyone thinks. And that's what has served me very well. I think the other thing is going into content and just talking your mind without an agenda. Mm-hmm. I've been doing this for years now, really, and I never had an agenda. And I still don't have an agenda now, apart from to create more sustainability and ultimately to make more money, right? That's why we're all doing it anyway. But I started just to be a voice, to express my opinions and my thoughts. And I wasn't going beyond a line that was unreasonable. So, and I've just never been bothered, mate,
Ever? Like even when you was a kid?
No, I just haven't. I mean, I've been beating that drum for a long time. I just haven't.
Why? Why do you think it's one of the biggest things people struggle with? Why have you never struggled?
I think I just maybe I don't care. I just think I don't care. I just don't care. I think I can compartmentalize, and I know that this is because I also know that what I'm saying is the truth. It's my truth. Whether some people don't believe it, the truth. I base it on my experiences. I base it on what I've been through. I talk about things that I'm very passionate about. I don't deviate away from my truth. I don't change up my voice and my message 6 months down the line. You go back 5 years, I've been saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So I
literally daily you have.
Yeah. So I don't feel uncomfortable continuing to say it, other than it might be at a different angle. It might be with a different core message or something, what I'm saying. And ultimately, I know I'm helping a lot of people as well. And I'm fully aware as well, you have to have push and pull. I can't have everyone like me. And I'm fine to be the villain. Mm. I'm unapologetically authentic. I can play the villain. I don't mind doing that. So it's like I just don't care.
Because you're okay with the trade-off, because you know the good that it's doing for those it resonates with.
Also, I think mental health-wise, right? We can get so deep with this, but I've never had any mental health issues ever. I've never had a panic attack. I've never had anxiety. I've never had depression, because I've never kept up with someone else's want of a character of me or an alter ego. I've never played anyone else other than me. What you see is what you get, and that has allowed me to feel comfortable in myself and be content. And I've never tried to prove anything to anyone else. So that, I think that reflects my confidence on camera, but also my ability to pump out, and I'm sure we'll get onto this, volume of content, because I talk about things that are authentic and real to me. I don't try and create things that people will think or I think that they'll like.
Yeah.
Whether they like it or not. I'll do a video about the cost of living. I just know that will rattle people that follow me and like me, but I don't care. Also, when you have a child, I've got to say this, and anyone who's got a child, like, it's perspective. As long as my son's healthy, I don't fucking care. I don't care. Yeah, that's it.
What about, you said there about you've not experienced mental health problems. What about the people that are experiencing that? What about people that have, anxiety disorders and things like that? They see your content, you come online and you say, the cost of living crisis doesn't exist, no excuses. Do you ever worry about the repercussions that could have on somebody like that?
No, because what I like to think is I can then have the conversation with those individuals and just get to the root cause of it. It's, someone could have their say and say, well, Aaron, the prices are going up. And I could be like, well, okay, I get it. It's tough, but you can do something about it. It's just priorities. It's the order in which you do things. We can be proactive. We can change.
Can everyone?
Yeah, I believe so. No one's hands are tied. I get there will be circumstances that are just, incredibly hard, depending on where you live in the world, and that, there'll be challenges wherever you go. But could everyone make some form of a change? Yeah, of course. Like, no one's bound. And if they are, well, it's going to be a very few that are bound to their situation and there's no change. So I just find it hard. I came from a family that had no money. I was a very different person over 15 years ago. I didn't look like this. I didn't sound like this. I wasn't nicey. So...
What is this, you being nice now? Is this the nice way?
I was a very different person years ago. And I had all the odds against me. I had a baby at 20. I was the only income. I had no money. Driving on a car on the orange. Literally struggling to pay bills, stressing out, couldn't rely on anyone. So I had to make a change. So I suppose there's some frustration where people go, oh, well, it's tough. For who? That's where I can really get into it. But I feel I always have a counter, because when people say, well, my employer doesn't pay me enough, it's like, are we really going there? No, you need to pay yourself. Stop relying on external factors. Control the controllables, as I always say.
So when you say the cost of living crisis isn't real, what do you mean by that?
So the cost of living crisis is a great title developed by the media, right? We all know that, right? Scaremongering, okay? Because then if we have a title, we can attach ourselves to it, just like in the job place. If you're given operations manager, it makes you feel good. So you're going to attach yourself to that, and next time you go to a barbecue, you're going to tell everyone you're an operations manager.
It's part of your identity.
It's a part of the identity. We're in a world now where everyone wants ADHD, and they're self-diagnosing and can't wait to tell their friends at a barbecue, right? Everyone loves ADHD, right? And so it's the same with the media, but luckily we're waking up to the media. Okay, so let's roll with the cost of living crisis, right? But what annoys me, you look over a general chart, right? Mixed of all the financial markets over 100 years, right? All ups and downs and lows and corrections, right? It's literally just a pattern of that. And these patterns typically have 5 to 10 year gaps of these ups and downs. So we're fully aware that, but what does happen is prices always go up. So there's always this there's this consistent momentum of this line going up. So we're fully aware that we should be planning, we should be smarter, but we're not. We spend money, credit, consumer debt has never been higher. Airports are full, restaurants are full. When England were playing, all the pubs were full, drink, fags, drugs. So I find it hard when people say, well, it's so tough and gas and electric's gone up. And it's like, well, go over your finances for the last 6 months. So it's just stuff like that. You know what I'm getting at. So I just struggle when people blame external things. And that's really where that comes from. We're in a cost of living but we have been for the last 150 years.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
There's ups, there's downs, but generally the trajectory is it's going up.
Yeah, the media titles change, and that's it.
Mm.
That's as simple as it. And we're all in a position now where we can go on the offense. We can all make more money. I don't believe that everyone can be a super successful entrepreneur, but I do believe every single person could make an extra £500 a month of their own, tax efficient and lean. I do.
Agree. This episode is sponsored by Dr. Tania King-Mohammad. She is the high ticket woman, the #1 best-selling author of the high ticket method, and one of the most sought after high ticket experts in the game. Basically, if you are an entrepreneur who is serious about scaling their business, you need to grab a copy of her book right now. Literally, I have read it and it is a game changer. It will blow your flipping mind. Tania is the mentor that the entrepreneurs call once they are finished playing small and are ready to start charging their worth. Working with Tania is all about creating consistent high ticket sales and doing it in a way where you can create a freedom level income without the constant hustle and grind like a lot of the other mentors bang on about. If you're listening to this show, you already know you're somebody that's meant for more and is willing to go and work for it. So basically, you need to get into Tania's world. Go and grab a copy of her book right now on Amazon and make sure you give her a cheeky little follow on Instagram. She is at Freedom with Tania and she's consistently giving strategies, tips and advice over there for free so you can start charging your worth and actually starting to believe in it. What about, I know you have mentioned there about drinking and football. What's your stance on if people are not where they want to be in life? Should they not be drinking? Should they not be enjoying football? Should they just be hustling?
I just think you just have to do things in a priority order. So I think if you... I'm a big believer in luxuries and stuff like that, or fun money and spending your money where you want it. But I think you've got to do it in a priority order. If you're in debt, you shouldn't be spending more money. If you're overweight and unhealthy, you shouldn't be eating pizza. You know, I think there is a level of responsibility to be had. If you have children and they're not secure financially or they don't have a good home, you shouldn't be going out spending money. I think if you have children, you shouldn't be smoking. You know, I find that a disgusting habit. If you're smoking and you have children, you're openly saying, I might not be around when you get married. It's the truth. But people don't like to talk about that because it offends them. Well, you can't say that. Well, no, I can do what I want. You know, I'm on this podcast, do what I want. Say what I want.
I'll pull the plug.
Yeah, but it's the truth, isn't it? You know, if you smoke, why'd you have children?
But it's not that black and white with any of that, is it? Because you're dealing with human beings. They've got emotions. They've got, you know, it's not that everyone can just go, I need to achieve X, so therefore I just need to be fully focused on X. Like, do you agree that there's got to be wiggle room to say, look, humans are not perfect. We're flawed.
Yeah.
It's about having good intentions, but it's also okay every now and then. You know, you might not be where you want to be financially, but you can still go to the pub. Do you believe in that or not?
Yeah, but again, it's got to be done in the right order. Like, this is another one that rattles people's cage. I always say, don't travel after university or college. I didn't go to college or university, but don't travel doing this whole, you know, going on mummy and daddy's money, around Bali and riding elephants and all this stuff. If you want to go traveling, do what I do. I'm at 32 now. I go where I want when I want. Literally, I do. Don't have to ask anyone. You know, I'm financially pretty well off.
But what if someone says they might not make it to 32?
Well, it's rubbish. It's rubbish. Nonsense. You can't live like that. I mean, that rattles my cage when people go, oh, you know, YOLO. It's just nonsense. You don't live
But
like
it is
that.
true, though, because people do
Well,
have
you won't know about
accidents
it.
and die.
Yeah, but you won't know about it. If I leave here and get hit by a bus, I won't know about it. I won't care. I'll be dead. I won't know about it. Well, it's true though, isn't it? I won't know about it.
Yeah, but if you only have 30 years on this planet, would you rather be spending those 30 creating a life that you can enjoy in your 40s and then die before you get there? Or would you rather had maybe a bit more balance, maybe had a few elephant
I would
rides?
say to that individual, you're a moron. Because you're living in cuckoo land. I can't, you know, people say to me, oh, live today's like your last. All right, I'll go spend $250,000 today. What am I going to do tomorrow? Am I going to feed my son?
But that's not what they mean, though, is it?
No, but you could take it that far because I could get hit by a bus. That's what I'm saying. So you're playing a scenario that's so like how could you even base your life on that? Like you might, you know, if you're going to live for 30 years or you might die tomorrow. How can we measure that? So no,
it's more just an easier excuse, isn't it?
It's just another excuse. It's just nonsense. I don't live my life like that. I eat clean. I drink clean. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I've never done drugs. I've been smart with money. I've been featured in God knows how many UK papers now for my financial success of what I've done at 32 years old. And now I do what I want, and I've got longevity. I'm fit. I'm very healthy. I work out. I didn't do all the, again, you know, it's like when people say, oh, but if you homeschool your son, he won't fit in with society. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. Because look at society, it's a mess. So no, if you have structure in your life and you do the right things and you, again, perspective. I had a son at 20, I had my light bulb moment and I got clarity at a young age, and I feel that that really gave me direction. And let's face it, life is a sequence of choices. And again, we can get to the whole, you know, why are people having midlife crises? They've got no purpose. They don't know what they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing because they're like, well,
I don't swear, by the way.
Yeah, well,
I
it
keep
affects
panicking.
because it affects the YouTube algorithm.
Oh, is that what it is?
I never swear on YouTube, so that's why I've held it back.
You're feeling passionate today. It's nearly happened a few times.
Yeah, I know, but I've held it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you want to bear that in mind.
Okay.
So
lesson learned.
Yeah, it really affects the algorithm, and
that's why I've got no views.
It does massively, but yeah. So I just but that's me, mate. Like the way that I'm talking now, that's the way that I've lived my life, and I've never made any excuses along the way, and I, you know, I don't have any problems from it. I've seemed to be doing quite well from it, and people attach themselves to me because they're like, oh my God, this is a breath of fresh air. But there will be the people who are insecure and don't like the truth, and they go, who's this guy, you know, with the tattoo on his neck? That's literally what I'll get.
It is incredible what you've done. I mean, you're nearly 500,000 followers on TikTok. I see your YouTube's doing incredible as well.
Yeah,
your work ethic, the consistency, and as you've mentioned there, the authenticity. You know, you are speaking the same message day in, day out, and you have done for years now. It's absolutely incredible. Is there a cost to that in terms of personal life, family life, you know, being that consistent? Because you're churning out content daily, 7 days a week.
I know. Do you know what the trick is? I get asked this all the time. So I have a great team now, but the trick is, honestly, I put this down to everything. My expenses in my life have never gone up. I'm not a materialistic kind of guy, and my family aren't either. I'm from very humble beginnings. There's an article in a paper which is coming out, which the title's something like, he can afford Gucci but shops in Primark. Primark jeans. This is a Primark top. The one I've just changed, that was a Primark top. I don't spend money on materialistic things. So what I've been able to do from a very young age is compound all of my money. You know, I earn a lot of money in my 20s from what I was doing raising finance. I was still working a job, and I just cash stacked. Our expenses never went up. We've never had excess expenditure. We've never financed anything. We've never had a big mortgage. I haven't gone out and bought a Rolex. We don't. So for you think about doing that, I've done that over 12 years. So that's put me ahead. And even now, my expenses, apart from slight cost increases, have gone up. You know, I mean, my outgoings a month are around about 2,100, 2,200 tops, everything, and that's my software. So, and I earn, you know, significantly more than that.
Can you say?
I earn a lot now.
What's that number though?
Well, a lot.
That's not a number.
Well, it's publicly out there. What? But you know,
why do you not like talking about that?
I just don't flex numbers. I just don't like it because I push back against all of that because it makes no odds what I earn anyway.
But to people listening to you, I think it can be kind of okay. That gives them some context. Because like if you're doing $3,000 months,
take my business earnings out of it. Just my social media alone is multiple six figures now. So you know, it gives you an idea.
Just from literally, you mean getting paid for content?
All sorts. So that's collectively. That's from reoccurring brands, sponsors, earnings on online, offline, upsells, obviously now I've got a lot of products that I've got a lot of autonomy. So like in terms of everything that I have is within the team and the systems. So like, you know, I started using Go High Level. That like changed the game for me because I was using so many different softwares, and then I moved that, and then this tech guy basically helped me build like autonomy. Jason's helped me with a huge amount of autonomy. So that dramatically changed the game for me to ramp up everything that I was doing, which is why I could pump out so much content, because the back end, I did things the reverse.
Yeah.
I built all the back end first with help, which most people will try and do the front end and then try and figure out the back end.
Yeah.
I did all the programs, the e-learning, the products, the services, wrote my books in 2020.
I remember you saying that about if you're going to grow a TikTok account, already have small products that you can offer, and you know, it's because then the minute you do get that viral video, straight away.
Like I've launched my new planner, Life by Design. That's like my whole motto, Life by Design. That's why I say it's not about how much money you earn. It's can you create a life by design, and that starts with not keeping up with the Joneses. And I launched this planner last Wednesday. I had something like 371 pre-orders because I've got the audience now. Yeah, it's £22 a planner. It was like £5,000 on day one. Yeah, it's like launch. Yeah, you know, they've been selling ever since. Yeah, they're just hotcakes because people are like, I need that, and it was all about simplifying productivity. But that's low hanging fruit. But that's, you know, if I sell 40 units a week, I make about £6.50 per sale. It's like an extra 18 grand a year. You know, just from passive. Yeah, and it's all integrated. Go High Level, Shopify, Lulu Press, print on demand, hold no stock.
You don't even have to do
just
anything.
do orders. Literally wake up and I just fulfill the orders. Just press literally a button.
A lot of people will still be in that mindset where they feel they do have to keep up with the Joneses and they do need the Gucci and the things like that. What drives you to earn that money?
It's not so nothing drives me to earn the money. What drives me to do it is I want to get to the point where, just like Jason, like I said, we were talking offline. I work so closely with Jason, but he's such a close friend of mine, and I love his saying of full bank account, empty calendar. So now I did a day in life video the other day, and the last one I did was a year ago. Now, if you look at the two, I don't really do anything now. I don't. I potter about my house. Paul says, "Do you want to come to an event?" Not really.
Got to talk to people.
Yeah, like you know, we like to go on holiday a lot now, or just go off. And I like to go. You know, me and my son, we go play football. We're always riding a bike, or I just like to do a live stream or just create a new product, or sit at home doing some slides, and then do a live stream teaching people stuff. Or I just love YouTube at the moment. You know, YouTube's opening up a lot of doors for me. So Look Exclusive being flown to America and Dubai next year. So nice. I've got like all these opportunities coming up, speaking gigs. I've just been offered to speak at TikTok's HQ in London as like one of their creators to talk on panel. So I don't really do a lot. That's what drives me. I want to do less. I want to make money so I never have to do anything again.
So you know you don't have to do stuff.
Yeah, so if this country gets really bad, I can bugger off.
You just go.
Just go. I'm going to ask anyone. So I'm not driven by, I want to buy...
What do you mean if it gets really bad? What do you feel about the state of the UK at the moment?
Well, you know, I think we'll see how bad it gets over the next like 2-3 years for sure. But then in 2-3 years, we'd have sold, hopefully, by then anyway. But, you know, so hopefully the stars align at that point. But, we can move before that. But, you know... I don't know, things are changing, aren't they, right? You know, we're in a busy world. I don't even like to see a lot of people now. I've got to be honest with you. I don't see a lot of people.
Why?
Because as long as my family's healthy and all my family are around me, I'm not bothered about anyone else. Because I've just, no one cares. No one cares. And you know the horrible truth, right? Let's do a real, I've done this a few times, but this is just the brutal truth. If I pass away today, how many nights' sleep will you actually lose? You know, just say it honestly.
None.
You won't. You won't.
Yeah. I mean, I won't be right impressed about it.
No, you'd be like...
It's not going to be my favourite day.
No, same for you. And I'd be like, really nice guy. It's just, he's so young. But I'll go to sleep.
Yeah.
And I'll wake up and go to the gym and I'd hit a chest. So there you go. So I've just proven my point. And I'm aware of that, and I'm fine with that as well. Yeah. I'm even aware that even my family, if I was to pass away, People would cry, but eventually they would laugh, and people move on. I'm aware of that, so I try to make the most of what I'm doing, and
But
so
you can
I
still
wanna be
have
around.
good experiences with other humans. They don't have to cry when you die.
But so
to enjoy it.
No, but here's the interesting thing, right? Would I go out clubbing with people? No, because I've got no interest. I have no interest with people. I have nothing in common with people who go out drinking. I just don't have anything in common. I'd be spending money to enjoy something I don't enjoy. If I was going to go play football on the 3G with the lads, and have great, do that. Love that bit of downtime. I love going out for restaurant meals. That's one of our guilty pleasures. We pretty much eat out at a restaurant every night. But I want to do that with my family. Like, I want to make the most with my family. Because I'm not all these other people. That it doesn't make me who I am. So as long as I'm at home with my family, I'm spending all my time with the family, and we love to do things like, and then travel and explore and go hiking and go on the bikes and go just like simple things like the fact that we can wake up and go for a walk and go to the cafe when people are literally rushing around getting ready for work. Think about it. Most people drop their kids off for 6 hours a day for 18 years to let someone else bring up your child in a room of 40, 50 people when they all have different learning capabilities. And then someone goes off for 10 hours a day to go build someone else's dreams. That's not normal. And then we go, well, I might as well get on with my co-workers because I spend 10 hours with them and I spend more time with them than I do my family. Yet that's not normal. I identified that. That's not normal. When people would go in, oh, couldn't wait to get to work, get away from my missus. Right, leave her. Leave her then. Oh, well, no, I wouldn't do that. She cooks your dinner. Get over yourself. Leave her.
But it's so normal for people, right? They're conditioned to think that's just life.
To society, that's normal. See where I'm going with this?
Yeah, and I think when people maybe first listen to you, maybe it stirs up some emotion. Maybe they think you're a bit of a prick.
Because I'm saying it.
And it's that kind of stuff, right? And they probably might, because this is something I was going to ask you, is like, are you actually happy?
Yeah. Yeah, like, that's...
Because some people go, you don't drink, you don't watch football, you don't party. But actually, I know you, and I think you're one of the happiest people
and this is what's crazy.
that I know.
This is what's crazy. Like, I don't track it so much now, but like, I would track my food and just make sure that, I wouldn't track it to the point where like every macro, but I would make sure that I'm hitting like just same amount of calories. Like, I like to go to bed at the same time every night because something that I'm learning as well is that I want to live as long as possible. Like, I want to do a Tough Mudder with my son when I'm 55 and, he's in his 30s. And I want to be able to do that. So I understand that most humans don't learn until it's too late or it is too late. And then they want to change their life. So I actually believe, and again, Jason and I have had deep conversations about this when we've been training together. I like to live in a state of prevention, not, it's too late. And there's a great book by Dr. Nick Hall, which is called I Know What to Do, So Why Don't I Do It? And that book dissects about how bad humans are, that they live an entire life and then they get diagnosed with, an issue or, a cancer or something like this. And it's not until that happens they think, I wish I could have gone back and said no to the bad food and said no to the drink and said no to the drugs and said no to the late nights and prioritise my health and the one vehicle that was going to carry me through, because we can live longer. Like, get your sleep right, take your vitamins.
It excites me so much to think how long we can live now.
Yeah, there's like a study that was done that's something like, I don't know what it is. It's like in the 70% of over 30-year-olds never run again. Just because they get to that age and they don't really run again.
Yeah, they just did it at school and...
Yeah, and then... So I've studied a lot of this and all the numbers of like when people stop and, the last time on average you pick up your child. So I'm trying to go against the norm. That's why I was never comfortable staying in a 9 to 5. I didn't want to be that guy moaning about, I hate my job, but I can't wait to get away from the missus because I can't stand up. She cooks me dinner and cleans my pants. And, I can't wait to book the holiday because I can't wait to get away from this place. And then I dread coming back to this place. And it's like, well, take control of your life, you moron. Like, actually do something with your life. Well, my employer's not paying me enough money. It's like, bore off. I've got no time for it. So that's why I like staying in my little bubble, because I know that I'm very passionate and I know I express my feelings and I know it irritates. And there will be people that will be on the live stream that will be irritated. But I don't give a monkeys. I don't give a monkeys. Don't give a monkeys about what people think.
So on the surface, people will see you as another guy on the internet shouting at us, telling us we're all losers, we need to change our lives.
And I'd say, I haven't shouted once.
Correct. But that's kind of the impression, right? Is you're another person on TikTok and what have you. But actually, when we have these kind of conversations, what I'm hearing is it's like actually quite traditional values of spending time with your children, spending time with your partner, actually the simple life. It's not the hustle and bustle. It's that thing of simplicity is what you want in your life. What do you think of people like the Andrew Tates that are shouting? He definitely shouts. What do you think of him and what he has to say?
Well, I think all that's too much. I talk about things that are true to me, and again, that I'm being authentic about, and that I believe. I'm not trying to make. I think the difference there, you can tell when someone is trying to get you to think their way.
Right.
Like if no one came away and took anything from it, well, it's neither here or there. Again, I go back and I live my life. It's more of a case of I like to just use the word trying to wake people up, just trying to get them to think outside the box and actually think, yeah, maybe what we have been told is a little bit of a porky. He is coming across very passionate about it, but he does seem to have a point. There is substance behind what he's saying rather than just being very male aggressive and, like we said off the camera, like the whole masculine thing and, like iconic man. I think that's all nonsense. I think behind every successful man is a very strong woman. It's the case for me, and I can't buy into this whole masculinity and
you mean like the
high
toxic
profile
masculinity
stuff.
Like
high profile man. It's just all nonsense. And what does it matter? Like we're all gonna end up in a grave anyway. It's not there's all these pictures and quotes, but it's true. It's not going to say owned a Lamborghini. It's not going to say had 400 employees. It's not going to say that. You're going to have max 30 people tops for the hour that you get lowered or you get burnt, and then everyone moves on with their life. So I think enjoying your family, and again, just going back, just taking it all, the money, the social media, it's all just to prevent, to have options, to have choices, to never have to ask for permission to have a day off. And the other thing is, just to touch on your point just finally, is that the other thing is it's a need for social media for me to come on here, because I'm asked to speak about it. So you've got to remember, before we spoke, I would have been sitting at home on my recliner in my pants.
You still could have done if you wanted.
I got the call. It's like TikTok. We want you to talk at our stage. Teachable, like Applied Nutrition, Adobe. I work with big banks, eToro, Trading 212, Tide, NatWest. They come to me. I'm just sitting there minding my own business, come back from the gym. So I think it shines through. So some people do get annoyed. But again, hate never comes from above. And, when people are angry, it's typically an insecurity in them and it's more of a mirror.
What about setting financial goals? Because we hear all these like 6-figure earners, 10K months. What's your thoughts on all that?
Well, they're all possible. It's never the drive, because if you strip it right back to what you need, no one needs £10,000. I don't need £10,000 a month. I don't need £10,000 a month. I need, for us to live a good life, I need to make minimum about £3,100 a month. Done. Great. I can stop everything else and just run my TikTok. But you like earning more money because you're almost securing your family by doing it, especially living like we do. We just, stack a lot and, but we go out loads and we do loads of stuff, but I stack a good portion of it. You just need to chase the number that breaks you free, a life by design.
How do you find that out?
Well, you've got to understand your finances. Get rid of all your expenses. Get rid of all the materialistic things that you don't need. Just look at your net number. What do you need to eat, sleep? Make sure you don't get evicted or, they don't take your house. What's that number? Get rid of Disney and Netflix and Prime and, 2 restaurant meals or, whatever else you spend your money on. Look at that number and go, right, we both earn together, or you earn X amount, £3,000 a month or £2,500 a month. We actually spend just over £2,500 because we've got a bit of consumer debt. But actually, we only actually need to make £1,760. That's our net number, but it just means we can't do these extras. Okay, so now sacrifice 5 years of not spending all the extras like I did in my 20s. And I say sacrifice, I just didn't do things that society did.
Right.
So when people,
because it wasn't much of a sacrifice for you, right? Because
No,
you're
really.
not bothered by that stuff.
No, because people are like, what, you didn't go out clubbing? No. Oh, you must have been well boring. Why, what are you doing now? Living at home with mum? Well, it's got nothing to do with you. All right, I'm going on holiday. See you in a bit.
Yeah.
It's literally the case. I've got so many people who went to my school who went out all clubbing, they went travelling. Again, they did the whole Bali, Australia, elephant photos. What's that got them now? Photos with elephants. If I want to go and get a photo with an elephant tomorrow, I can go do that now, but still come back to my life. You know, oh, well. I get annoyed by it. But the point is, see, I know people will get irritated because of the way that I say it. Right?
Yeah.
I'm just very open and honest about it, right? But you find your net number. So if you need 1,700 quid, replace 1,700 quid. Now you can leave a 40-hour-a-week job. Now you can sit at home going, right, we're paying all the bills. Great. Now we've got to do another 18 months of just making another 600 on top of the 17. Now we're financially better off. Now we need to systemize this, scale it, put processes, VSOPs, whatever. And now we're in a great position. But now let's not up our expenses. We're earning 4,000 a month. Don't go and spend an extra £3,000 on something. That's where people go wrong. They earn the money, they get a little flavour of like the extra money,
And then it's gone.
and then it's gone. And they go and spend it.
And what you're talking about is just a few years of your life, really, being really disciplined and focused
Yeah.
to give you an awful lot of freedom long term. This episode is sponsored by Laura Robson and Back Pocket Office. Now, let me tell you about this one. Laura is somebody you need in your life. I have got her in my life, and all I can say about her is I don't know how I'd live without her. And it's true. If you're anything like me, you will hate tech. You'll be great at launching and creating the marketing material and delivering on the actual product that you're selling. But when it comes to the back end, making sure it's all automated and it all works, I just can't be bothered. And if you're the same, Laura is the solution. Laura is a systems strategist, and she's also a certified launch and funnel specialist. And if you are a service provider, if you're a coach, consultant, any kind of online business that provides some kind of online service, then Laura is there to help sort out all your funnels and systems for you. With over 14 years experience, she's somebody who's going to get you solutions quick. She's easy to speak to, very approachable, and just really friendly and nice, basically. So if you are ready to get your systems and your funnels all sorted for you and work with one of the best in the business, go check out backpocketoffice.co.uk and connect with Laura on socials. The links are literally right below this episode in the show notes. Go click it, and I mean this. Go and do it now. You will not regret it. Let's hear about TikTok, because that's been one of your biggest things that you have really exploded on. Do you think there's still opportunity on TikTok now? Because how many years ago was it that you started?
So I started on TikTok coming up 31 months ago now.
But you're not counting.
No, not at all. 30. It's probably what we're on now. We're coming up to August. So it's like 31 months.
Yeah.
I mean that's just been a hell of a journey.
What are the steps? Do you think the opportunities are as good as they were for you? Have they missed the boat? What's the advice?
I think the opportunity with TikTok now is greater than it was because it's been more identified as an educator's platform now. So it's turned to SEO. So if you were to actually go back 2 years, pretty much when I started, it was still within the whole, dancing and mucking about. It wasn't taken that seriously, and it wasn't an SEO platform. Right now, we're in the moment where, do you remember where everyone used to say, oh my God, I wish I'd have started YouTube 10 years ago? So we're in the exact moment right now with TikTok that people in 10 years from now will say, I wish I'd have started on TikTok 10 years ago. It's mainstream. It's being backed by all the big players, big banks. It's being shown in football stadiums. Like it's made mainstream and it's being mentioned everywhere. But also the search engine has totally changed. So now you're searching for ideas, for answers. You're using it to find videos to give you problem solvers. But more so, it's gone to long form. You've got massive companies that have now come onto the platform. And just like YouTube, as soon as you hit live stream, there are literally scouts all the time on the live streams looking for people who are educating, because what they want is people who are engaging, educating, and can get conversions, which is why at the moment I was saying to Paul, I've got a bit of a problem at the moment because I get so many brand deals offered to me. It becomes a little bit overwhelming where I'm like, I want to work with all of them, but I would bombard my viewers and my content with paid ads, and I really don't want to do that.
It would change your brand, right?
It would change my brand. And even going on holiday, I've said to all the brands, I asked my VA just to send them all a generic message saying Aaron will be in touch when he's back from holiday, is because I really need to think about, they're all big companies that I can work with at the moment, but they're integrated ads, full dedicated videos on YouTube, full videos on TikTok. And the worst part about it, they've all accepted my prices, which makes it even harder because then you've got a lot of money on the table. Now, just to give you an insight, I'm up to £5,000 for one 60-second video. So,
wow.
Yeah, so that's
difficult to say no to.
It's hard to say no to. So I started at £75 a video when I started, and I was at a few thousand, but my engagement was high. Now I am at high prices, and I've got friends who are much bigger fish than me who charge way more than that. But it's very hard when they've all accepted their price and you're torn between, well, if I do all of those, that's our next 3 holidays.
Yeah. But it's the longevity, right?
Yeah, and also that affects, like, I'm on a real roll with YouTube, which I'm sure we can talk about in a moment. But if you are organic the whole way and YouTube has found your audience and you've helped push it and you've got this great momentum, and I'm nurturing my audience. And I was saying to my partner, like last night, I'm spending so much time replying to every comment, and I feel that's that 1% that's going to make the difference. If I suddenly throw in a full dedicated ad, which isn't on topic, I mean, it kind of is on topic in terms of the business and tutorials, but it will show up as a paid ad. That does affect the algorithm.
Right, okay.
Am I willing to take great cash, which for a great brand, I would work with them because I integrate everything anyway that they share and promote and the products and services.
But there's a trade-off, right?
But there's a trade-off.
It's getting that balance.
So that's really hard. So you do get to a point where you haven't got to be the biggest creator and have millions of followers. But like me, I have high engagement and high click-through rate. So therefore I get offered the big bucks to do an advert. And that's hard.
What if somebody is hearing this and they're like, oh my God, $5,000 for a 60-second clip? And they're like, for the first time listening, thinking, I need to do a bit of what Aaron's doing. What advice can you give them? What tips, what steps, what do they need to do to start to build something substantial, meaningful that can, over time, lead to that kind of result? I
would just say replicate exactly what I did, where you have no agenda to monetize from it. You just simply have that vision of, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to be 100% authentic, so this doesn't become tiring for them, it doesn't become tiring for me, so I can because
don't play a character
because you burn out because you can't keep up with playing it, you know. So just be 100% authentic, and then just learn the tricks of the trade. Number one, you can't be boring. So that is the number one rule. You will never survive in a world that is full of entertainment.
How's Paul doing then?
Well, he's not. Well, he cures insomnia.
Is that his niche?
Yeah. I don't think he's the.
We love you, Paul. Just banter.
I've never had him send me so many images of people who have fallen asleep on his Zoom calls. Like, genuine, true story.
He's not even joking.
People have fallen asleep. He sent me photos of like people like this on his Zoom calls, and they're out. Yeah, I'll show you after this. He's gonna hate me for this.
I can't believe that's real.
Out. Yeah. So he cures insomnia. I love you. But I hope you don't watch this.
Genuinely love Paul.
No, don't you clip this one out. But yeah, so you can't be boring, and well, that's why he's done so well on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
he might be on this live stream. He was telling me earlier, I'm nearly at 30,000 on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I was like, what's that?
that is the more like kind of corporate sort of traditional, I guess, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, like you can't be boring.
So you got to be authentic. You got to have something to say of interest,
of course, and then it's a secret formula. It's just the golden formula, right? Which has more context to it, but it's the hook, right? So the first part is the attention. Call that between 3 and 7 seconds. Then it's the solution, which is like the 7 to 10 seconds. Tell them what the video is going to be about. And then it's the retention phase. Now there's a body, right? Videos are going on a little bit longer. So the retention has to keep them in the video. Then they're going to go through the phase of validation, because if they're sticking around, they're going to validate you because they're listening. And then eventually, that will lead to a conversion. So it's the attention, solution, retention, validation equals the conversion. And it's just doing that day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, with no deterioration of momentum, like no breakdown of, I just can't keep this up. Because when you get to the point where you're like, what am I doing? As long as you're ticking all the boxes and you're still questioning yourself going, what am I doing? You're now just in the selection phase of, are you cut out for it? I say to people, I did over 900 posts before I blew up. And people come to me and they're like, I'm not getting any views, and I've done like 40 posts. I'm like, okay, you've got like another 960 to go. Get to 1,000 and then come back. Because then you would put so much into the ecosystem, so it's just volume, but you have to tick the boxes. Like, are you grabbing the attention, and are you solving a problem? And no piece of content ever has been about me. You'll never find one piece of content in the last 4,000 posts that is about Aaron. You won't find it.
It's about them.
It's all about them. You'll never find a piece of content about me and my personal life, unless you go on my Aaron Knightley lifestyle. You'll never find anything about my personal life.
So what about there's, let's say a single parent working a full-time job, listens to this, wants to change their life, wants to do the TikTok thing. And I mean, how many times a day does she need to post? Just once, or is it multiple?
As many as you can. I think the answer is just as many as you can, but you have to say one is minimum.
And it's every day? Every
day.
So how would you help somebody that's like juggling life and they've got a lot on to be that consistent? Because 1,000 posts before you even start to see some momentum, for a lot of people, they'll be thinking that's a huge commitment on top of all my other commitments in life.
Something has to give. So again, I think this is a question of how obsessed can you become about it in a healthy way. So I think you just need to be very honest. Like, that's a self-evaluation. I think people, before they jump into this, don't realise how obsessed you do need to become about it. Because I am obsessed about everything that I do, because I wouldn't call it anything else, because I live and breathe all of it. And some people might be like, well, hang on a minute, you said you don't do a lot. No, I don't. But when you do this and it becomes natural, and everything else in your life you've made sacrifices around, like, I don't waste time just meeting with people and having a chat. So what I will do, we'll sit at home on the recliner having some lunch and schedule some posts, or brainstorm. And so I've swapped it for that. Someone really has to work out how bad is their situation that they want out of. I had to get out of my job because I had no other option. So it wasn't a case of, do I want this? It was a case of, I have to. Like, I need to. Having a consequence or fear will make you do something. So, but then you can use your passion in order to get out. So if it was a single parent, it'd be like, okay, I need to stop meeting the girlies or the mum's day for the next 6 months, because I need 6 months of prioritization into building a brand around my, struggled life at the moment. But I have a big reason why, which is my child. But the consequence is life's only going to get worse for me. So I have to really use that fear and that consequence of going, sorry girls, or sorry whoever, or new boyfriend, or whatever. I've got to spend the next 6 months doing everything physically possible. And I say this, and this rattles people: sleep less. We don't need 8 hours sleep. If you're healthy and you have a window to go hard for 2-3 years, you're not going to die if you sleep 4 hours a night for 3 years. I did it for many years in my 20s.
I think experts would disagree.
But do you know what? For 3-4 years, if you sleep less, and that is what it requires you to do, and that is your only window to do it, but you eat clean, you drink clean, and you look after your body, and you have to sleep less, you'll be fine.
Well, you can't guarantee that, right?
But what?
Because brain experts, people will say literally one of the worst things you can do is be underslept.
Well, I haven't seen anything if you were to do it for 3 years. I haven't seen anyone say if you sleep for 4 hours for 3 years, you're destined at 60 to have an awful life. I imagine if it was a case of you did that over 9-10 years, it's probably a different scenario, because that's a long, call it a decade.
Apparently one of the worst things you can do for your health is like shift works, when you're doing night shifts and you're not getting proper sleep and it's broken sleep.
Yeah. But, the other thing is as well, like your cortisol levels, right? Like stress. This is something I suppose I've been quite good at, and I would say this is probably a big impact. Human beings worry about things that never happened, and it's around about 70% of things that we worry about never actually come to life, right? So we a lot of people spend their life in a state of worry about, oh my God, what if this happens on my job? And, because a lot of stress actually is around the workplace and, someone at work, or am I going to lose my job? And these things never really come to life. So everyone's kind of in a state of worrying all the time. And that has a huge impact on someone's health and spiking levels and all sorts. So I think also being able to rest and recover, getting to the gym, going to the sauna, going for a walk, decompressing, turning off your phone. When we go on holiday now, it was beautiful in Tenerife. When we just went to Tenerife, we leave our phones in the room. We're going to do it in Mallorca. We leave our phones in the room. Little things like that. Like, how many people can just sit there and go quiet? Like, people talk about meditating. I like to just sit and do nothing. So I don't go out a lot. Sometimes I just literally sit at home. Like Jason and I are really similar, right? We do very similar things. Although we're polar opposite, we're very similar in different ways. I will just sit at home.
In the bath.
A lot. Yeah, I'm always in the bath. I do love having
love a good bath.
I love having a midday bath. I have a lot of midday baths. But I go to the sauna a lot. I go to the sauna maybe 4 or 5 times every week. I have a lot of sports massages. I love pampering. I go and have face massages. But you
didn't do that when you were building, right?
No.
But the point that I like that you build, there's a couple of points. I think one point is that you said the word obsessed, and I think that's right. I think it's really truthful and honest. I think if you really want substantial change, you cannot dip your toe. You cannot do it half-hearted. And you're absolutely right. You have to have a level of, whether you call it sacrifices or not, it's just a choice. You just make choices that are in alignment with the life you want to create and the goals you want to achieve. And if that does mean maybe sleeping a little bit less, maybe that's the right thing for you. But what I like that you've also said is it's not about neglecting health. It's about finding your version of still maintaining and looking after the stuff you can control as best as possible, with the understanding you're also going to have to create space for this business. It's not going to create itself. And it's going to take a lot from you as well. And it's important people like you are real about that. And that's what I think is one of the reasons you're successful with your content. A lot of people are sugarcoating it, or a lot of people are trying to sell the dream of, just 6 weeks, you can be at 6 figures or whatever. They make success sound sexy and exciting. What you're saying is it's a period of time that might be quite a long period of time where you will work consistently really hard. But
and also to add on the benefit, you don't need to get to £10,000. So you don't need to put the pressure on thinking, well, I've started a little something of myself, or I'm going to start something, but I'm not really going to be better off until I hit £10,000. It's not. Your side thing only needs to hit maybe £2,000 a month. You could do that in 15, 18 months. You could do it sooner, but give yourself 18 months. But you can also make it sound much more sexy by saying, well, I'm a single parent, or whatever the circumstances are, but I need to make £2,000 to leave my job. Well, let's just say you can get your little side business or your personal brand, or you monetize in any way, shape or form, just to £1,000.
Yeah.
It's so achievable, £1,000. Now you could actually go down to a part-time job at work. So you don't need to do the full-time. Now you can go and stack shelves, Amazon or Sainsbury's or Tesco's, do part-time work, start at 4 a.m, finish at 8, or start at 2 p.m, finish at 6, stacking shelves or picking the orders. You still make £800-900 a month, but now you've got more time at home to build the business, and now you put another 6 months doing that. Great, you've replaced the part-time job. Now it works, and then you keep a lot of that profit. You still live on minimal, because now you've replaced your job, but now the next 2 years is sustainability. 2 years of sustainability, then scalability beyond that, and then systems and processes and team members and so forth. We're in a world of opportunity, and again, that's why I've seen it from the ground up. I came from zero. I'm not at zero anymore. I've seen every side of the coin, and I've also heard all different scenarios of people, victims, and I've heard it all, and everyone still has a chance.
I like your message because I think initially a lot of people do get triggered by what you say, and I think a lot of people take what you say in the wrong way. But I think yours is a message of inspiration and possibility and hope. But I think more than that, it's quite a common sense, practical, logistical approach. You're not saying that, like the Tony Robbins, burn the boats and, go all that. You're saying you're going to work hard. You'll have to make some choices. You'll have to say no to some things, but be strategic. But you're also saying, I like what you're saying about the numbers. It doesn't have to be 10K. It doesn't, know what success is for you as an individual, right?
Know your numbers. It's as simple as that. Know your numbers. And this, all of this ties into why people end up having mental health problems, because they're so consumed by social media. They're so convinced that they need 10,000. That 10,000 has become so almost like engraved and tattooed into people's minds that they need 10,000. Like you don't. Like 10,000 is such a huge amount of money, £10,000. You don't need that amount. So the first thing to do is really understand what makes your life better financially, but also actually what do you want? Like is money actually going to solve your problems, or have you got a problem at home with your relationship? And maybe your partner's draining you. Maybe your partner's a big spender, or maybe the people that you're around, you're not aligned. Maybe you're around big spenders and that's just not what you want, but you've kept up with them for so many years, you've known nothing else, and you're scared to go and find a new tribe. So
self-awareness in it.
Self-awareness. And again, that's why I like to keep my circles small. I like to go home, gym, family days out. Home, gym, family. And that's just like, it's just called protecting my peace. And that's literally I call it like my close little bubble, and I don't let things leave or come in. And I think you've got to do that as you get older. You learn to protect your bubble a little bit more, because protecting your peace in a world that's like super busy, super noisy, and everyone's comparing. Like, I don't even look at anyone else on social media. I don't even like. I've said this before. I don't like any. Paul goes to me all the time. Did you see my post the other day? But mate, I have no idea what you're up to. Not a Scooby-Doo. Not a clue. You
just stay so focused on protecting your family, looking after your, like you say, looking after your peace, and I think that is really admirable. I remember even I messaged you about, did you see the Diary of a CEO with Daniel Priestley and Gary? What did you think about that? And you went, I don't know. Not seen it. Not interested. I'm not focused on anybody else.
Yeah. Well, here's an interesting one. Just on that, anyone watching this who's trying to build or better their lives, I have blocked so many multi-millionaires, billionaires. I've blocked a lot of people that either have conflict of message that changes over time. So there's a couple of people, I won't name, but their messages have changed quite a lot. So I've just removed them. Because
and why do you think they're doing that?
Well, I think they're at a point where they can change their message because, they can pull levers on what they're selling and what they're doing at a certain time. And also, I don't watch podcasts on things like Diary of a CEO or other podcasts, because they're too far away from where I want to be, and they're talking things about growing. I don't want to grow an empire. I don't want to build an empire.
Yeah.
I have no interest in building an empire. I just want to be able to live the life that I'm living now and continue that until I'm freaking 90 years old.
I think that's a really good point about what who you're listening to, because a lot of people are feeling overwhelmed with all the different things that people say online. They get conflicted messaging, and then they're constantly going, I think that's success. That's what I should be doing. What you're saying is it starts with self-awareness, understand what success looks like for you. And then from there, follow the person or the people that align with that message and that vision of what you want, right?
Learn from, I said it to you just there, like learn from one person. Jason's life now is very similar to where I'm going. So I only learn from Jason. I don't learn from... I have made more money working with Jason. Me and Jason have been in business now for 2 years. Just over 2 years. Just over 2 years. We started in 2023 of June, right? So just over 2 years. I've made more money working with Jason by listening to just one person. Whereas when people are constantly trying to take information and read and listen to new things, you're so baffled with all this information. You're clustered, you're cluster effed with all this information. You don't know where to start. And
the point is, most of it will work, but only if you focus on that one thing. That's what's confusing, because people start it's that patience thing. They start something, it's, they're 40 TikTok reels in, they're not getting any results. So then someone else says LinkedIn's the place you need to be, or someone else says YouTube. So they're constantly doing a bit of everything, when actually if they just picked one and saw it through for long enough, that's where results come. Yeah,
and the other damage is you lose trust. I don't trust people that where I see their bios change every 6 months. I don't trust them. I'm actually not interested in what they have to say after that. Also, for me, it's proof of concept. There's a certain individual at the moment who keeps talking about marketing and growing a brand. My son has more of a brand than this individual. I can't take it seriously. I see it pop up occasionally on my feed if I'm doing something or whatever. And it'll be another tip, and it's like, but you're not doing it. So there's the other thing of, there's a lot of people trying to fluff, and we have such good BS meters now that it's like we're really looking for proof of concept, and it's really hard to build trust. Everything's going to be online. I mean, we're nearly there anyway, but everything will be online. So the one thing that we all need to just gain and really nurture is that element of trust. And if you're changing every 6 months, or you have a new strategy every 6 months, you can't. You need to be that person that 10 years later you're saying, just like myself, just like Jason, just like other people who have been saying it for 5, 10, 15 years. That's the one where the money will flow to, because you've never deviated. That's what I stick to. But also stick to what you know as well. Like don't try and take on things that you don't know. Like this tech company that we're doing in logistics and distribution, I know it very well. I'm totally obsessed with it. Ben could have come in here and sat and watched this podcast. He's literally I'm like, Ben, you need to do da-da-da-da-da-da. He's like, I'm on it, because that will be the next success thing, and you have to be obsessed with it, and we are on it all the time, sitting at home in my pants, just
in the bath,
whatever I can.
Aaron, this has been great, and I knew it would be. And I just want to say thank you, because I think this level of honesty, even though it might sting for people sometimes, I do think it's really important that we have this. So it's great to have somebody like you on the show, just giving us your raw, real, honest opinions. If people are hearing about you for the first time, some people might, how can they find you and connect with you?
Well, firstly, I've got thick skin, so bring on the comments, because I've had those before.
Plenty of them, I'm sure.
Just Aaron Knightley. It's just the handle all over. And Aaron Knightley, my man.
Final question. You will have answered this last time we did this show, but whether it's the same or not, we'll see. We'll see congruency. What is your definition of success?
It definitely will be the same, but I'll add, I think I know what I actually said last time.
Okay.
My definition of success is never having to ask permission to do anything. But my definition of success is, and it would have changed slightly because we're thinking about leaving the UK, but just to have a quiet life where no one knows where I am. I come off all social media, copper pans hanging in the kitchen, my son living in his little annex with his wife or whatever, me and my partner in the kitchen, little electric car, and I go shooting on a Sunday with a big old fat belly. And that's it. And no one knows where I am or who I am. Quiet, peace, out the way. Sold up everything and gone. With no one to deal with or speak to. Just
you miserable old bastard.
Yeah, yeah, and I love it.
Aaron, pleasure.
Oh, mate, pleasure.
Thank you, mate.